Alrighty, trying this one out for size. And here comes the dog. Oh my gosh. We're doing something. He must come investigate. Alright, I've got all my joints together and stacked underneath one another on my body. But lots of people tend to like to go hip distance apart, go where it feels best. We're going to go into hopefully a nice chill standing flow. Palms will come facing forward, shoulders relaxing down the back. We'll inhale, lift the sternum or leave it straight on if you like. Inhaling as we sweep up and exhaling down through neutral, hands to heart center. Taking 2 more. Make sure you've got a little bit of softness to the knees. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Last one, inhaling up and exhaling down. And let's nod the head as the hands pass. Bend the knees and let's just take it forward into a fold or a hang. I'm going to let my fingertips rest on the floor. Don't know how well this camera angle works, but my knees are definitely bent, but I feel long and relaxed in the spine without being curled under in the low back excessively. So we'll be here and we'll hang out for 5 breaths, 4 breaths, 3, thinking about lengthening the hips up to the ceiling, 2, last full breath in and out. And then let's roll back up to standing, keeping the knees nice and soft and letting the head come up last, inhaling as we lift. From this position, let's grab a yoga block, stack of books, or a footstool or step ladder. Here's my trusty eaten by the dog yoga block. I'm going to take my legs and stagger them so they're about shoulder distance apart widthways, and then one far step forward, maybe about 3 of my foot links separated in front of one another. I'm going to set the block on the floor, kind of around the side of my foot, and I'm going to think of my hips as a hinge. Both my knees and toes are forward, and we don't want to hyperextend, so if you tend to lock out your knees, please don't do that. You'll end up on the floor for a different non-therapeutic reason because you've passed out. But we'll think of the hips lifting up and back and then hinging forward at the torso, coming into a fold. This is the beginning of our pyramid pose, and actually this is a super deep hamstring stretch for me. Feels really nice, and I could just stay here if I wanted in the neutral spine with the hands on the hips, or if you were more adventuresome, you could interlace the fingers, press the hands toward the hips, and kind of open the shoulders. That is not for me today. So instead, I'd like to go into more of a fold. So I'll take a breath, and then I'll exhale. I'll nod my head and start to curl it down. My fingers can walk their way down my legs, and you can see, I can't really get there. So that's what the yoga block comes in handy for, is now I can rest my fingertips or my hand on the block, and I can check in with my shoulders, make sure they're both facing toward the floor. Same with the hip bones. The hand can rest anywhere that is the foot, shin, thigh, anywhere except for the actual knee joint itself. But we'll hold here for 3, 2, and 1. To come out of it, you can strip her up if you want to. I don't think I want to. You can curl back up to standing, or alternative number 3, I'll move the block out of the way, and I'm going to bend this front knee. So I still have both heels on the ground. If before you couldn't put both heels on the ground because usually it's me with my back heel lifted, that's okay. It's okay if it's still lifted, but I've bent my front knee, and now I'm going to take my torso up and sweep my arms up, coming into my high crescent lunge. And I'll just hang out here for a moment. Now, if you feel like, you sure this is lunge? Well, first, yes, but two, we can make it a little bit deeper if you would like. If you want more of a challenge, you can come onto the ball of this foot. I do not want a challenge today, so instead, I'm going to let my shoulders have a little bit of a break coming here, hands to heart center. They can also come forward or to the hips, but I'm going to take my back foot, lift onto the ball of the foot, start to wiggle it backwards. Now I have a little bit deeper of a lunge, and I'm striving to gently put my heel on the ground, but I'm looking for the stretch here. So sure, I can put the heel back and I can get a calf stretch and some more hamstring, but I'm really looking for the front of this hip to be stretching. So I'm engaging my glutes, pressing things forward, keeping the knee still over the ankle, and then I can take my hands to heart center or resume my more traditional high crescent lunge stance. If you want back extension, you can do the contraction of front and back line of the conveyor belts. I don't have a lot of extension, so I'm going to stay neutral. We've been here for a while though, so I'm going to exhale, take my hands to heart center. I'm going to inhale, bend both knees, and then I'm going to step that back foot forward into my chair pose. Then I'm going to inhale back up and exhale through my volcano pose, which I thought was great when I found that out, fanning the arms back down. Let's rinse, repeat on the other side. Inhaling up and exhaling down, and we took 3 of these, so we'll take 2 more. Inhaling up and exhaling down, and the last one, inhaling up and exhaling down, nodding the head, making sure those knees are soft and coming to our forward fold with bent knees. We held here for 5 breaths. How do people on camera not adjust their glasses and scratch their face? I mean, I know it's just like choir, it's a performance, but I'm a bit rusty. We have 2 more breaths here. One last full breath cycle in and out. And then keeping the knees soft, let's roll it all the way back up to standing on an inhale. Now, resuming the pyramid pose on the other side. Instead of giving you the same viewpoint, I'm actually going to not turn my body around. I'm going to step 1 foot back. In an ideal world, I'd be able to put both feet completely on the ground from the heel to the toes. Seems like it's a little bit tighter on my ankle on this side, so this could be an interesting adventure. My front knee has a bend to it so that it is directly over my ankle. My hips do not look like they're in line, but we'll just give it our best approximation. And then again, we'll work through our way through the hinges in the fold. So you might just be happy upright getting the calf and hamstring stretch here. That's okay. I wasn't supposed to bend this knee yet. Cool. Let's extend through that knee. Then we can hinge forward. Now I'm definitely getting a hamstring stretch. I have no idea if my hips are squared or not, but I'm attempting. Hands can be at the hips. Again, if you're looking for the adventure, they can interlace behind the back. Nope, nope, nope. They can come to heart center. They can come out for balance. But here we are in our pyramid pose in a neutral spine because we engaged in that hinge. Then if you would like to, you can further nod the head and kind of slink it down. And you'll notice I still can't touch the floor. So I'm going to grab my yoga block, stack of books, footstool, etc. I also like to hold this quad super tight, which actually cheats me out of my own stretch. So if you're in the same boat, see if you can release the hips and the front of the legs so that we can try to put things on the floor and get the stretch. And then here, the spine can be as rounded as you like, coming to here. I'm just going to be kind of in the middle, and we'll hold here for 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to come to our high crescent lunge. So this front knee bends. Back toes may stay on the floor or come up. But because I want to open the front of this hip, I'm going to come up. I'm going to lengthen out through that leg without locking it. And then I can sweep my arms up. You can also sweep your arms up to the sides. You're the boss of your own adventure. We talked about my shoulders are super tired, so I'll most likely be here. You can go for the extension, which is so much note for me. So we'll be here in our high crescent lunge. I cannot remember if we counted or not. So we're gonna go with 3, 2, 1. Right hip is on fire. I'm gonna bend both knees and then step it forward. Keep the bend though. Here I am in my chair pose. So from my chair pose, I'm going to rotate opposite elbow to opposite knee or thigh, thinking of lengthening my spine to a neutral shape as I'm in this rotation. And we'll hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently lift. And then take it over to the other side. Elbow to knee for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's take those hands to the floor. Lengthen through the legs as much as you can while keeping the body folded and not hyperextending. And then if you have a yoga block, you can use that if you'd like to extend in through the legs a little bit more without hyperflexing of the back. Or if you're like, I don't have any of that crap, fingertips to the shins works just fine. So I've got this sort of inverted L shape with my body. This is our half lift, and we're looking at the floor but not at the legs so that our cervical spine is also neutral. Then we'll hold our half lift for 3, 2, 1. Let's bend those knees. Take the fingertips back to the floor for forward fold. Take a breath. Exhale it out. And then let's roll back up with soft knees on an inhale. All right. We need to get side flexion, so let's get some palm trees. I'll face you, and then we're going to add a short flow and call it a day. So we'll inhale the arms up to upward salute with no extension this time. We'll exhale, sway the palm tree over to one side, contracting through here, lengthening through here. We'll take a breath, and then exhale, drop the bottom arm and rotate on the diagonal, or in this case, my 2 o'clock, possibly y'all's 10 o'clock. We'll hold here for a breath or 2. And then we're going to bend the knees and just go ahead and circle it forward. And then we can roll up. And let's take that on the other side. Inhaling up, upward salute. Exhale, lengthen through one side, contract through the other, having your palm tree sway. Take a breath. Exhale, drop the bottom arm gently and rotate to the diagonal. Taking a couple of breaths here. And then bending the knees as we round and take it forward. And then let's roll it back up to mountain. All right, from the side profile, we're going to take the beginning of our sun salutations, and we'll take 3 and call it a day. Now that we've taken the spine in all of the directions, we'll inhale into our upward salute, adding the extension only if we want it. We'll exhale, flip the palms, swan dive it, beginning with a hip hinge, and then rounding the spine and bending the knees if we need to our forward fold. On an exhale. And then we'll inhale, lengthen into that L shape, taking the fingertips to the shins. And remember, yoga blocks work for either of these. And then we'll exhale, release it back down to the forward fold. I'm touching the floor because I bent my knees, something to keep in mind. And then we'll inhale, roll everything back up to standing. And then exhaling into our mountain pose. Taking it again. Inhale, Upward salute. Exhale, hinge and swan dive into your forward fold, bending the knees. Inhale, lengthen to that L for half lift. Exhale, bend the knees if you need to forward fold. And then inhale, stack the spine all the way up, one vertebrae at a time. And then exhaling into your mountain. We'll take one more. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold, adding the knee bend. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold with knee bend. Inhale, rolling up that spine. And exhale, mountain pose. So we'll take our ceiling breath. Inhale, sweeping up all the few good things left in this shithole of a world. And exhale, down through your true heart center. Namaste, my friend. I'm going to continue to work on creative ideas, but my brain is tired. I'm looking forward to warriors. Cheers.